Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Well, first things first. I just want to go ahead and report that Dillian Whyte has made an announcement that he will be returning to fight on July 21st at the O2 Arena, and that would obviously that takes place in London. So um, we don't know who the opponent is going to be, but however, according to a report that I just read, I think it's from Sky Sports. Now, we know that Dillian Whyte has been mandated to fight Kubrat Pulev in the IBF title eliminator. Okay, and Dillian Whyte seems to have no problem with that, and neither does Kubrat Pulev. Right now, he has no problem with that. But needless to say, in that report that I just read, it also says that his potential opponent could be Anthony Joshua. Yeah, a rematch. So now, here's the thing. Before Dillian Whyte fought Lucas Brown, he was coming off a win against Robert Helenius. A very, very disappointing and, let's just say, subpar performance, I should say. At that time, I felt that, you know what, even though Dillian Whyte was racking up some string of wins against the likes of Chisora, Dave Allen, Ian Lewison, over the hill, totally shot former heavyweight contender Malcolm Tan, whatnot. I mean, Dillian didn't really look his best against those guys at all. And at that time, I said that, you know what, I think he's ready for any world title fight. I don't think I'm not saying he wasn't. Let's just put it this way. I just don't think he was. I don't think it warrants him to fight in the rematch against Anthony Joshua right now, based off the way he looked against against Robert Helenius. Not saying he don't deserve the shot. I just don't think there's just no interest for the rematch, because when I spoke to Boxing Beats and Rhymes and Charlie Brown, they could admit to that. They could attest to that, and they totally agree that Dillian Whyte and the Anthony Joshua rematch at that time should not be warranted. But given that Dillian had knocked out Lucas Brown and looked very good in that fight, that's probably the most sharpest that we've ever seen Dillian looked against any opponent, then okay, you know what? It seems like he's not ready. He's fully ready and capable for a world title shot. Now, Joshua and Whyte had a very great heavyweight domestic level fight in Britain about 3 years ago, I believe. Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Yeah, about 3 years ago. They had a very great heavyweight clash. Something to remember on a domestic level in Britain, obviously. And, Dillian Whyte hurt Joshua in the second round. I think it was the third round or second. No, it was the second round. He hurt him with the counter left hook. You had Joshua really dazed and wobbled and hurt, and he hit him with some very good stinging body shots, which kind of zapped Joshua's oxygen out of his body. But, Joshua found the strength and got a second win back, and took out Dillian Whyte with, a variety of punches and uppercuts in the seventh round, I believe. So, yeah, it was a very good fight between both men. Now, the question to you guys is that, would you be clamoring for the rematch? Now, this is not definite. This is just a potential opponent that's being thrown out there for Dillian Whyte to fight on July 21st. Now, another question is that if Anthony Joshua will be the guy to be fighting Dillian in the rematch. Now, Joshua has come out and he's been adamant about fighting Dillian Whyte in a rematch, which kind of raises some eyebrows at the time, So, what happens to Alexander Povetkin? What's going on with the WBA mandatory defense on that situation? Is Joshua and Hearn has agreed to they've gotten Povetkin's team to agree to a step-aside deal to allow him to take another voluntary defense before he fights Povetkin? That could be a possibility. And what about the IBF mandated situation with Whyte and Pulev? Maybe the IBF have agreed to, to go ahead and put that fight off for now until, until the Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua rematch concludes, if this is concrete, I should say. So, yeah, just let me know what your thoughts about this. Again, would you guys be clamoring for a rematch between Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua for July 21st? or you think Dillian Whyte is going to end up fighting Kubrat Pulev instead, or somebody else. Oh, because let's just say let's just eliminate one name out of the equation. That's Deontay Wilder. That's not going to be the opponent. Let's forget about that. And to me personally, I wouldn't mind Dillian Whyte fight Deontay Wilder on July 21st. I would not mind that at all. I definitely will. I definitely want to see that fight. But from the indicators, it looks like that fight won't happen until the WBC mandates that fight. So it is what it is. Let me know what your thoughts about this. I'm out.